Eric Cartman is that bad character fat kid that we all love to hate. And that's because, in addition to making us laugh with his acid humor, he also shocks us with his ruthless crimes. Over the course of the series, he has not only gotten involved in controversial situations, but has committed crimes so bizarre and shocking that they could land anyone in jail or, at the very least, in a very long season of The Unicorn. And that's why in today's video, we're going to take a look at the biggest crimes committed by Cartman. So, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's go to the video. Let's start with one of the biggest atrocities Cartman committed in the series, which happened in the 5th episode of Season 15, where the crazy kid simply created the Addicted Babies Athletic Association. The name says it all. Basically, this crazy guy set up a company that took babies born addicted because of their drugged-up mothers and put them to fight for possession of drug balls, while all of this was filmed and put on the internet to make money. I don't think I need to explain how absurd, wrong, and criminal this is. Cartman simply set up a baby fight club and was distributing drugs to minors under the age of 1, which only makes things even more disturbing. And even though he committed several different crimes, Cartman was arrested on very few occasions, like for example in the 2nd episode of Season 4, where he was arrested for committing a hate crime. Cartman simply wanted to throw a rock in Token's face, and because Token is African American, that was considered a hate crime, since, thanks to the new laws, any aggression based on race, ethnicity, or sexual orientation was considered a serious federal crime. So, Cartman was arrested, tried, and sentenced to juvenile prison until he turned 21, all because they wanted to use Cartman to send a message to everyone in the country. Pay attention. If you want to hurt another human being, make sure they're the same color as you. Oh, and not wanting to be arrested, Cartman committed another crime by escaping from the police in a toy car, which led to a long police chase that lasted over 13 hours and ended with a terrible accident involving several police cars. Since apparently all the police officers in the series are a bunch of incompetents who almost let a 10-year-old kid escape to Mexico in a toy car. What more sign of incompetence could there be? And it wasn't just Token that Cartman attacked at school. No. In episode 7 of Season 10, he committed an atrocity against a boy named Billy Turner. We don't really see what happens, but we do see Mr. Mackey telling Cartman's mom everything that went down. It turns out that the sadistic Cartman had handcuffed Billy's leg to the flagpole, given him a saw, and told him he had poisoned him, and the only way he could get the antidote in time was to cut off his own leg. And apparently the kid did it. Or at least tried to, because the last news we get about him is that he was in the hospital. You were really bad, Eric. He called me fat. Well, no, Billy wasn't. But if you know Cartman, you know he can't stand being made fun of. And he also hates minorities like Jews, hippies, and redheads. And because of that, he can't help but commit hate crimes. In episode 11 of Season 9, after being tricked into thinking he'd turned into a redhead, Cartman started committing hate crimes against non-redheads, and he even created a group to exterminate them all. Now, let the extermination begin. In episode 3 of Season 8, after watching the movie The Passion of the Christ, Cartman misunderstood the movie's message and began to believe it was to show how much Jews should be hated. So, this crazy guy simply dressed up like the guy with the mustache and called a meeting to eliminate all the Jews. This meeting attracted a lot of people, but no one there shared Cartman's disturbed view, and everyone just thought the kid was trying to strengthen the Christian community. And thanks to all this misunderstanding, Cartman convinced several people to march through the streets of the city, cursing the Jews in German. And this was only possible because the people thought they were saying a prayer in Aramaic that Cartman was teaching them. That was just the beginning. In episode 9 of Season 15, not wanting to lose a game with his friends, Cartman ends up becoming an immigration agent and is taken to stop Mexicans from crossing the border. The main weapon the agents used was a shock device that wasn't lethal. It was just meant to stop people. However, Cartman wasn't satisfied with just that, and when it was his turn to act, he figured out a way to enhance the situation and killed several Mexicans. And these deaths were just the beginning, because Cartman has already led several other people to their deaths, as we saw in episode 4 of Season 15, where, because he had a very small penis, Cartman had serious anger issues and was forced to go to therapy. But it turns out the therapist was a lunatic, and while trying to figure out what made Cartman so angry, the guy simply started calling him fat in various humiliating ways. And Cartman seemed to be taking it well, but he was only pretending, because while the guy insulted him, Cartman found a way to send messages to his wife, telling her that her husband had a police record for doing inappropriate things with minors. After that, Cartman kept attacking the woman so much that when he encouraged her to take a gun and, well, the rest she did. Carol, I'm not fat. I have big bones. Now, how Cartman got the therapist's wife's phone so quickly, I have no idea. I just know that her death is completely on the fat guy's hands. And speaking of deaths caused by Cartman, we can't forget the most famous and disturbing of all, which happened in episode 4 of season 5, where the fat kid ended up buying testicles from a boy named Scott Tenman, thinking that it would make him reach maturity, which, if you have even the slightest bit of common sense, you know isn't true. But when Cartman finds out he was tricked, he does everything to get his money back. But every time he tried, Scott found a way to humiliate him even more. Extremely furious, Cartman comes up with the most evil, diabolical, and insane plan to get revenge. He basically finds a way to lure Scott's parents to a farm and encourages the farmer to kill them both. Then, the fat kid simply stole the bodies right under the police's nose, chopped them up with a chainsaw, cooked them, and served them to Scott. And then, with the most natural attitude in the world, he told Scott everything he had done. You ate your parents, Scott. But you know what's the most ironic part of this story? In episodes 200 and 201, which were banned due to a joke about Muhammad, it was revealed that Scott's father, Jack Tenman, was actually Cartman's father. In other words, Cartman killed his own father and then made his half-brother eat him, which only makes this crime even more disturbing. So, as you can see, Cartman can be a real psychotic maniac. The smartest thing to do is to never provoke him, because for him, there are no limits of morality or ethics. And this time, I won't even ask which crime you think was the worst, because this Scott Tenman story just broke all the limits. But if you remember any other crime Cartman committed, leave it in the comments because I want to know. And if you liked the video, check out this other one. Go ahead and watch it. It's pretty crazy.